Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at this week's official prices. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Alright, so we got the big release of all the pre-orders and the official prices coming up here. All the Christmas boxes. So before we get into the Christmas boxes, first we have the Provisionally Prepared new commemorative series model. And this is a plastic kit, $42 USD or $53 Canadian. Alright, and then we have 5 Warhammer 40,000 boxes for the Christmas Battle Forces, and they're going to go up for pre-order next Saturday, and then it's a 2-week pre-order period, and they'll be released at the end of November for official purchase. So first we have the Adepta Sororitas Penitent Crusade Host, $240 USD or $290 Canadian. So we did see a $10 price increase on the Christmas Battleforce boxes from the other Battleforce boxes released this year. So very unfortunate to see from Games Workshop. Doesn't mean that they're not still a good deal. The Christmas boxes are extremely popular and sell very quickly, especially the 40K boxes. But that being said, hate to see another price increase from Games Workshop. So next we have the Imperial Knights Battleforce Valourstrike Lance, and again $240 USD or $290 Canadian. And then we have the Necrons Battleforce Hypercrypt Legion, once again $240 or $290 Canadian. And then we have the Tau Empire Battleforce Retaliation Cadre, $240 USD and $290 Canadian. And then the last of the Warhammer 40,000 boxes, Dark Angels Battleforce Inner Circle Task Force, $240 USD or $290 Canadian. And I do suspect this is going to be the most popular and sell out the quickest, as this is definitely the best box. Best value, best composition. Then we have the Imperial Knights box. Again, really nice value, nice composition. And then probably the Tau box will be the next most popular. And then I suspect that the Sisters and Necrons will be fairly popular, but not nearly as much. So if you are after any of these more popular boxes, they're going to sell out extremely quickly. Make sure to let your local friendly game store know that you're very interested in them. Get your name on the list. Or if you're going to be purchasing through an online retailer like CMO Games, make sure you are ready to pre-order these on Friday night or Saturday at 12:01 p.m. as soon as they go up for pre-orders, because anywhere that offers a discount is going to sell out extremely quickly. And then moving on from there, we have 4 of the Age of Sigmar boxes. Now, I was actually pretty ambitious that Games Workshop was going to keep these priced relatively decent, definitely lower than the 40K boxes, because typically Sigmar is not nearly as popular. The products don't sell nearly as good. There's not nearly as much demand for them. Unfortunately, a very, very negative surprise from Games Workshop. So first we have the Ironjawz Battleforce, the Wrekkamob. I think this is probably one of the best boxes, as it's the first opportunity to pick up any of the new Ironjawz models in a discount box. Unfortunately, the Age of Sigmar boxes are priced the same, so $240 USD or $290 Canadian. Then we have the Flesh Eater Courts Battleforce, the Charnelgrand Jury. This one is pretty good composition, again priced at $240 USD or $290 Canadian. And then we have the Cities of Sigmar Battleforce Founding Foray. I think overall this is probably the best of the Age of Sigmar boxes, and again priced at $240 USD or $290 Canadian. So I think realistically this one has some of the best value in it, some of the best composition for the Age of Sigmar boxes. But we have seen in the past, even though Cities of Sigmar is pretty popular, they do have the Spearhead, they did have the Army Launch Box as well. So I'm not sure if this one's going to be in like super high demand, but I suspect probably for the Sigmar boxes, this and the Ironjawz boxes will be the ones that sell out the most quickly. But typically in the past, we have seen that the Sigmar boxes don't sell all that well. You can oftentimes find them like months later. So not nearly as much of like that FOMO aspect as we're going to see with the 40K boxes. But again, if you are specifically after one of these boxes, I wouldn't mess around, because there's definitely a possibility they're going to sell out still pretty quickly. And then we have the Maggotkin of Nurgle box, the Shudderblight Cyst. So again, priced at $240 USD or $290 Canadian. Now a quick word from today's sponsor, CMO Games. CMO Games carries a full range of Games Workshop products, including miniatures, paint, terrain, tools, and more. They take pre-orders for most Games Workshop new releases as early as possible, usually 12:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. CMO Games offers 15% off of MSRP for most all Games Workshop products and offer fast free shipping to the continental United States on orders over $50. Most orders ship out within 24 hours. You know their customer service is top-notch, as they've been selling games online for over 20 years. Use the affiliate link below and let them know that Warhammer Man sent you. And then we also have a few books coming from Black Library this week. So first we have the Eisenhorn Malleus book. This is coming in hardback, and this is the annotated and illustrated edition. This one is $40 USD or $47.50 Canadian. And then we have the Skaventide book coming in paperback, $17.99 USD or $21.99 Canadian. And then finally we have the Ghosts of Barak-Minoz. And again, $17.99 or $21.99 for this paperback. So very disappointed in Games Workshop sneaking in another price increase on these Christmas Battle Forces. I wish I could say that I'm surprised, but honestly, I'm not. Their greed has definitely gotten out of control. Now, I do still think that they're a good deal. Anytime you can get over a 25% discount on Games Workshop products in one of these big boxes, it's always nice. And then especially if you go through a retailer like CMO Games or your local friendly game store, oftentimes you can get around 15% in the United States or up to 20% in Europe. So when you couple that with the actual box discount itself, you can definitely get some really nice deals. I think the Dark Angels Battle Force is going to sell out extremely quickly. It has very good composition. It's the best value inside any of these boxes. And if you are after this one in particular, I would definitely not mess around and jump on it right away. I also think the Imperial Knights box is going to be extremely popular as well. Again, Imperial Knights are not often discounted. You can also use this for Chaos Knights as well. So again, I think this one's going to be extremely popular and sell out very quickly. Games Workshop did later revise the initial article and point out that the Big Knight is only going to be able to make the Valiant or the Paladin kit, which means that it's not the full Imperial Knights kit. So you're not going to be able to make Canis Rex. You're not going to be able to make some of the other Knight variants. For instance, it doesn't include the Power Fist, the top weapons, the Gatling Cannon, etc. So not quite as good of a deal as it initially appeared to be. Still a really good deal overall relative to picking up the individual kits. But definitely snake-like of Games Workshop to originally say this was going to be the full Knight kit and then weasel around, put a revision into the article that it's not going to include those extra sprues, especially with them also tacking on an extra price increase. But again, still a really nice box, and I do expect this one to sell out quickly. I think the next most popular box and the one that's going to be in the highest demand is the Tau Empire Battleforce Retaliation Cadre. This is an extremely good box. Again, it's got a bunch of battle suits, which is the most popular aspect of Tau. One Riptide, one Ghost Keel, one Commander, and one Broadside. All very popular units, very often taken. And again, you don't often see like the big kits at a discount. So being able to get this many nice battle suits at a nice discount over MSRP is definitely going to make this a very popular box. And I do think this one's going to sell extremely well. And then we have the Necron Battleforce box. I do think this one's going to be really popular. It has a really nice centerpiece model in the Catan Void Dragon. The overall composition isn't amazing, but I think relatively speaking, this one's going to be pretty popular also. And then finally, we have the Adepta Sororitas Battleforce, the Penitent Crusade host. And while this one is still a good deal over MSRP value, the composition on this one is probably the worst. It's a lot of like good units overall, but definitely not nearly as like meta choices as some of the other boxes are. You're not going to see the majority of these units in like your more competitive lists. And typically speaking, this one is going to be much more focused on like the actual Penitent detachment. So it's not nearly as relevant for like the other detachments. So again, going to make it a little less desirable. It is still a nice deal over MSRP. It does have a little bit of inflated value in it in the Munistorm Priest, as he's not going to make his way into most lists. And then also you can pick them up for pennies on the dollar because they've been available in so many different boxes over the years. So this one definitely has like an artificially inflated value. Not the best composition. I do still think it's going to be really popular because Adepta Sororitas is a very popular faction. I do think all the 40k boxes are going to sell out relatively quickly. So again, if you are after any of these battle forces, specifically the 40k boxes, make sure you get your name on the list as quickly as possible, or make sure you are standing ready and waiting either at your computer or in line to pick these up as soon as they go up for pre-order. Because the last thing I want anybody to do is miss out on a big Christmas present for either themselves, a friend, a family member, etc. And keep in mind also, if you haven't checked them out already, we've done some price and value breakdowns for all of the various battle forces for 40k and Sigmar. So check those out if you haven't already. And then also check out Tabletop Bros, our hobby and gaming channel, as we're doing individual box breakdowns for building up a new army using these battle forces for all of the 40k boxes. And then we're going to make our way into Sigmar as well. Let me know which of these boxes you're the most excited about. Also, what do you think about Games Workshop jacking up the prices once again, cutting out some of the value from some of these battle forces as well? Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. And as always, special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on most Games Workshop products, and make sure to tell them that Warhammer Man sent you. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man. And while I'm super excited for these Christmas Battleforce boxes, definitely hate to see Games Workshop just being greedy as ever, raising the prices last minute. And I'm out of here.